Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today is kind of be a little ranty. I want to show you this clip because I think that something really needs to change here. Now, already 2005, not only did he do a complete vertical in front of me and I failed to hit him, that part's my fault, but he's going to do a full 180. And we're going to count the seconds. It's already been about 5 seconds. He's still catching me. Still catching me. Still catching me. And I've been pretty much level this whole time. It took a good 20-30 seconds for me to finally start pulling away from this plane. In the RE 2005 Series 0 is not a very good plane for the battle rating. It's a 6.0 plane. It performs pretty close to the Spit Mark 9. Spit Mark 9 is 4.3, by the way. And this plane is keeping up with my Corsair at its optimal altitude. It doesn't make any sense. Gaijin, these aircraft are known for speed. The Corsair was literally a record breaker during its first test flight. This thing has, I'm going to be fudge the numbers a little bit, at least 700 to 1,000 more horsepower than the original Corsair. And I'm not going to outspeed something that performs like a Mark 9 Spitfire? What? That doesn't make any sense. And not only is he going to outspeed me after doing a vertical and then a 180, he's going to keep up with me in a dive. The P-47, okay, that makes sense. It's P-47. And then he's going to straight up outturn me in a high-speed turn fight, which the Corsair excels at. And the consistency in this game is just ridiculous. Especially with American vehicles, which, I'll be honest, I fly a lot of American vehicles. A lot of them. But these aircraft are made for speed, high energy fights. I mean, I know they're not very good at getting the energy compared to, let's say, a 109 or LF Mark 9. But once they have the energy, they're golden. They should be golden. Why are things catching me in a full-on dive? Why is our Spit 5, Mark 5s, who are not known for their engine power, out diving my P-51? Full-on, almost 90-degree dive. The Spitfire catches me in a dive. Zeros have caught my P-51 in the dive. You can't call it skill issue because my P-51's spaded. And I'm not turning. I'm not trying to dogfight the Zero. I'm just diving away trying to dodge bullets. Now, we're going to cover this fight real quick because I did just recently cover the G10 and what a wonderful aircraft it is. And we're going to be playing his game. That being, we're going to drain him of all his balls very, very slowly because we're not going to be able to do it in one go. The G10's energy retention is too strong and my plane's maneuverability is not good enough to seal the deal quickly. I should have killed him right there. Now, normally, this probably wouldn't work. The G10 would probably dunk on me the second I tried this. But because I lit him on fire earlier, I know exactly that his engine is not doing too hot. And we can see this pretty clearly as I continue to pull it vertical. It's another thing I don't get. You give these vehicles that rely on their engine horsepower to get things done. The Corsair is pretty much just all engine. That's its main thing. 3,000 horsepower with WEP on. But this thing overheats at 100% throttle no matter what you do. So, not only do you have an aircraft designed for speed that can't get fast because the engine cooks by the time it even gets 2,000 meters, you have other aircraft that are outdiving it that shouldn't be able to. And not only that, a lot of the American planes, the P-51 included, but the Bearcat especially, the rudder locks up extremely bad. And in the Bearcat's example, the rudder lockup is so bad that it'll just kick your nose out of the way when you're right as you're about to get a shot. It just kicks it, almost as if it's trying to do the instructor's trying to pull a flat spin, which makes no sense. How are these planes who were designed to be high speed having issues with their rudder when they were designed to be in this area of speed anyways? Why would you design an aircraft that can't control itself where it's meant to be. I don't know. But that G10, he kind of misjudged his energy state and how much energy he had, how much energy I had. And honestly, this aircraft I probably just need to spend more time with it. I don't actually spend a lot of time with this battle rating, so a little bit of the nuances I can do in lower battle ratings I really can't do here, especially because the skill cap is a lot higher in this battle rating bracket than it is on my normal one that I tend to stick around. But this thing kind of flies like you had a baby between a 109 G10 and a P47M. And it honestly does not make a good combination. In the instance with the G10, that's fine. As long as you have energy advantage over somebody, you are perfectly fine. Just don't turn in front of their guns. Just be careful. But you should handle the fuck fight handled as I am with this FR47. But for having 3,000 horsepower, this thing does not climb well in the slightest. Not compared to its contemporaries. It's fast, but not fast enough. It turns, but not turns well enough. Stall fights really well, but most of the time you'll be fighting a lot lighter aircraft to have a better stall control, so that doesn't really happen. Overheats to high hell, like the Bearcat does, except actually I think kind of worse. And this thing, other than the guns, is just kind of a struggle bus in all honesty. I really do not recommend this plane. It is a cool plane, I will give it that. But it doesn't feel right. It lacks in all these areas that I need it to, except for firepower, which to me is not very important because I mess up all my shots anyways. But even a Tempest Mark II is going to be outturning me. Granted, it's not going to be a full BS moment like the RA2005 as earlier, but still, I want you to bear that in mind. Now that I wouldn't suggest down tiering this plane. This plane does not need to be down tiered. 5.3 would be way too low for it. It doesn't fit the game, I think. And that's where this game is kind of hard, because you can't balance it. You're trying to take these real life vehicles that were made in response to specifically counter another vehicle, to be balanced against the planes it was supposed to counter. And it doesn't translate well, and that's why you get these situations where Gaijin's having to manually add in stuff like the rudder deflection issue, the overheating, the speed thing, the diving. Like this here just pulled a full 180. Look how close he still is. Now I'm not going slow by any means. It doesn't make any sense. It really doesn't. But and then there's the meta changes where the matches are so short. These slower paced planes like the Corsair, the P-47, the American planes, 109s, Focke-Wulfs, Hornets. Let's see what else? Japan, Swedish. I don't play much of them. I can't speak for them. The French, I can't really speak much for. I don't play them either. The Russians, some of them, most of them are pretty fine in the meta. But the meta really does favor these fast-paced matches, which is what the kids want these days. They don't want to wait and queue. They don't want to sit there in 15 minutes and climb and get set up just to die within 30 seconds, which I don't blame. When I was first playing the game, I didn't want to do it either. But it gave everybody a chance. It gave everybody a fair chance at the shot of winning the game. And these matches are too short. The 16v16 is too much to handle. Yes, I do well in 16 versus 16. For example, my P51D 20 KD is sitting at 5-1 comfortably. But it just the furball just gets started too fast and too soon, and everyone goes, ooh, neuron activation. Sees furball, dives in, and then you have this giant clusterfuck where all these young players who don't know what the hell they're doing are getting involved with planes they shouldn't and fights they shouldn't be. And I think Gaijin really needs to step up their game on their tutorials, and instead of just teaching the basics of how to fly an aircraft, teach them how to fly in aircraft. Have a tutorial for each nation. Now, it doesn't have to be like a really in-depth tutorial, but just be basically say, hey, Germany, you climb well, you go vertical really well, you dive well, but you don't turn well. And then have for Japan, you turn well, you climb well, but you don't go very fast. You don't have to be in depth, but just give the player a general idea of how to fight with these planes and how to fight other planes. And I think that would go a really good step in the right direction for helping newer players get good at this game. But this has been Plane Killer. I'm sorry for the rant, but I just don't like this plane. I think there's a lot of issues with it. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.